Oops. Sorry about that, everybody. Didn't realize my mic was live to everybody. So in that case, good evening and welcome again to another Zelda 1 randomizer race. What we have for you tonight is another one of the top 8 races, which means we will be seeing the new flags. We will get to those momentarily, but right now, I am the Greenleaf Effect, and with me tonight on commentary is going to be Crimson Avex. Who we'll be hearing from shortly. But right now we have, again, it's a top 8 match between the number 10 seed, AmazingAmpharos, and the number 18 seed, Paratroopa1. So again, as I mentioned, this is one of the Elite 8 seeds, which means that, of course, we'll be seeing the different flags from what we were seeing during the beginning rounds of the tournament.
Absolutely. We're still going to have all the flags from the beginning of the tournament. We do have 4 new flags in here. The white sword will no longer just be located in its cave. It still can appear there, but it will be shuffled with all the other dungeon items, Coast Heart, and the Power Bracelet. We will see enemy HP shuffled. We'll see the starting screen where our runners start off their matches shuffled, and then we will also see dungeon rooms shuffled around as well.
Yes, and go into a little bit more detail about what Crim means by the dungeon rooms being shuffled. The layout of the dungeons, the actual pattern of the dungeon will stay the same. So level 1 will still be the eagle, level 2 will still be the moon, etc., etc. But the rooms that appear in the dungeons will now all be shuffled throughout all 9 dungeons. So that means you could find Ganon's skull pattern room in level 3 and Zelda's room in level 8.
Correct. The other thing to note about that is the fact that when the rooms are shuffled between the dungeons, the items are actually shuffled first. So normally, let's say in level 5 where you would have 7 key drops, that is not necessarily the case anymore. We might see some of those key drops move to level 4, level 7, etc. The only thing that is guaranteed is each dungeon is still guaranteed to have 1 heart drop, 1 compass drop, 1 map drop, and 1 Triforce drop, and 1 and 2 will still have their floor item drops as well. In addition, because it was brought up in chat, enemy HP is a plus or minus 4. So there are enemies such as the ropes, Stalfos that have 1 or 2 HP. They can drop down to 0 HP, in which they would be able to be taken out by either the boomerang or the magical boomerang. But things like Keys and Gel can actually have more than 0 HP, where Boomerang will no longer be effective. So some of the tougher enemies, can become quite easier, or they can get the maximum plus 4 HP upgrade, and then we can see things such as 14 HP Whiz Ropes.
And from what I'm seeing right now, we are underway. It looks like we have a little bit of a discrepancy here in stream, so we'll get those synced up for you guys momentarily.
Now, they did start at level 6. Luckily, when they went down south from level 6, there is a possibility for that to be a horrible bottleneck if Lionels show up there, but luckily they were able to get out with a good enemy set there. But we did see a little bit of deviation to start, and so right now we have Paratroopa down along the coast, and we have Ampharos staying up in the grave area.
Yeah, Paratroopa actually has found a decently spread out section of any roads. Let me rephrase that. Decently spread out, but they sort of all lead to the same area because there's 3 sort of in that southern portion of Hyrule. One is the normal start screen, one is the Coast Heart screen, and one is the Coast Shop south of the ladder item. So while they do give you quite a few places you can quote-unquote travel to, 3 of them are sort of all stuck together, and now you see Ampharos has found them as well.
Now we see Paratroopa checking up in the grave area as well, and Ampharos has discovered the Take Any Roads and is down checking around start now. Now, in addition to the coast item, which we already saw was the power bracelet on Paratroopa's side, the runners will be looking for a few other things. They still want to find the wood sword, which just like in the previous tournament flags, wood sword can be in any open cave or under any Armos statue. We do have a level on Ampharos' side, which the layout appears to be level 3. But in addition, they'll also be looking for the white sword cave, which can actually hold any of the dungeon items now. So it could actually have a key item such as the silver arrows or the bow.
Yeah, and to answer the questions you might be having in chat, we won't be able to tell, again, because dungeon rooms are shuffled, what dungeons we're in until we base it on the shape. So normally when we see runners enter dungeons, we're pretty good about being able to say, oh, this room's here, we're in this dungeon. We can't do that anymore, so we're going to have to probably wait a little bit longer just to tell you the dungeons so we can see the shape of them.
Both runners are in the same area. Paratroopa is just discovering the same level that Ampharos was in. Finds that weird shaped room. That is actually the room from level 9 because there is no drop in there. There's only 2 rooms like that in the entire game. One has a drop, one doesn't.
All right, I see the question that's being asked in chat right now about the white sword item. Now, the way it works in Randomizer is without the white sword shuffle, it's 4 to 6 hearts to pick up the white sword. The same holds true for the white sword item. It will be anywhere between 4 and 6 hearts.
We have Paratroopa now checking out level 3, while Ampharos heads over towards the forest. And we see first the Kool-Aid Man, now this, which is going to be our door repair slogan for the game.
And now, door repairs are something that you would find throughout the vanilla game, where normally they would take away 20 of your rupees so the old man in there could fix the hole that you blew in his wall. But of course, because this is Zelda Randomizer, we're going to randomize all that, and it's can be anywhere from below 20, can be above 20. But the big thing that runners are hoping for usually is to see a long message, so that they have a chance to up A out of it, so they don't have to pay rupees.
And we see our candle shop on Ampharos' side over at the Double Armos east southeast of 2. 64 is not a horrible price, but a little north of what you would normally see. But if he gets the rupees, you can guarantee he'll be going back for that so he can start burning and opening up more areas.
The other thing that we just saw from Ampharos is because the double Armos here northeast of level 2, or east of level 2, excuse me, has a cave underneath it. We now know that the Armos item is going to be underneath the Armos in the Lost Hills,
which is where Ampharos is going right now, and Paratroopa will be not far behind him getting up there as well. So we'll see what the item is, and it is the recorder.
Yeah, finding an early recorder is always interesting because it's never an item that you necessarily want to find early, but when you have it and you need it, you're glad that you have found it and you have to go back for it. So, because the recorder obviously can get you into the whatever's under the lake by level 7, it also has the capabilities of giving you the ability to kill Dig Doggers. So it's one of those things that you don't necessarily want it, but you're never disappointed to find it.
Indeed, and we did have Paratroopa purchase a candle, so he is now starting to burn some of the forest. So he may take a little longer to get up there to pick up the recorder, but he'll eventually find it.
I do find it interesting right now. A double is 1 rupee short of buying a candle.
Does find our first bonus cape and opts for the heart, knowing he is so close, and we get a bonus cape on Paratroopa side as well. So both of them picking up hearts, and Ampharos will be pretty soon going back for his candle as well. And Z-Man, to answer your question, if AA used the recorder now, absolutely nothing would happen unless he was on the screen where level 7 normally is. It would still open that. And we got the sword in the letter cape for Ampharos. So he now has a weapon and can start killing some of these enemies to pick up that extra rupee as well.
Yeah, now because he has found the sword, though, if I were AA, I would actually be waiting here to find, like I said, this blue moblins, because the first drop that you're going to kill has potential to drop bombs. So that's why he wants to kill a blue enemy with his first kill.
Although they are at the full maximum 7 HP.
But it was at least generous enough to drop a bomb.
Absolutely. Now, it does take an unfortunate death, so we'll be back on the other side of the overworld. Back to level 6. We'll probably see him make another play for the Take Any Road at the convenient grace spot. Or may actually check this Armo screen just southeast of 6 first.
Yeah, what if I was a double right now, I'd be checking this screen real quick, then going back to the Any Roads, making my way, or never mind, because we found another candle shop, but this one's 69 rupees. I was going to say make your way back into the forest, pick up the 64 rupee candle, but because there's a 69 one right there, he doesn't have to.
We finally discover the large secret, 119 rupees, so a nice 19 extra rupees there. It is interesting that Paratroopa decided to come towards the waterfall before checking the rest of the northeast, so he did not discover the sword. That would have made this area a little bit easier for him.
But like always, the screen above the waterfall proving to be Trolly, claiming another victim in Paratroopa.
Yeah, that's definitely a bad screen to take on without a weapon, just because you have no way of depleting the enemies that just bottleneck that right above the lake there.
A double, unfortunately, didn't pause fast enough to up and A out of that money door repair, so he's going to lose some rupees.
And we have another level on Ampharos' side, and could be either 6 or 7. Won't know until a little bit more of it is explored.
And I actually agree with what A double is doing here. He only has 3 bombs to play with, so instead of taking the gamble on the wall to the right in that diagonal block room, opts to go throughout the rest of the dungeon, see what he can find, and he's rewarded by 1 or 0 hit point Stalfos.
Yeah, I would say just seeing the enemy set in general is the reward for this dungeon. And an early heart as well.
And possibly the best news he could have received, we don't have super keys.
And a little more troll, another bomb dropping enemy who has extra HP, so either 5 or 6 HP for the Regarias.
And we've come across our first item get of the game, and it's going to be or first dungeon item get of the game. It's going to be the raft. Again, one of those items like the recorder that you're never upset to find it, but you're never excited to find it. What the raft's going to do, of course, is going to open up 2 extra spots on the overworld to explore, where Vanilla Level 4 is located, and the screen directly, or a couple of screens directly above, where you get the ladder item.
And we did see the raft pick up on Ampharos' side, so that is now 3 key items where we know where they are. Total, there's going to be 6 key items. We also have the ladder we're still looking for, the bow, and the silver arrows.
Now, of those 6 key items that Krim mentioned, only one of them has the potential of being in level 9, and that is the silver arrows. All of the other 5 will be found somewhere in Hyrule proper or in one of the 8 dungeons preceding level 9. Reason being is because they can all potentially either lead the way to a dungeon in the entrance of Power Bracelet, Raft, or Recorder, or be required to defeat a dungeon in the essence of the bow, the ladder, the Recorder. And actually, looks like we both missed it here, but it looks as if that, over on Paratroopa1's side, the white sword item was in fact the heart container.
Indeed it was, and so that will mean that it's basically a free heart, but nothing more than that. So that's really one of the items that you never want to see there, just because it doesn't give you any benefit at all.
No, but Paratroopa is swimming in hearts already. We're barely 13 and a half minutes into this, and he's already got 8 hearts.
He does know where magic sword is too. It was right next to the location of the heart, the white sword heart. So he may be making early plays and may be rewarded with magic sword under 30 minutes.
But right
and
now
does
he
actually,
yeah.
picks up his wood sword as well.
Now this is interesting because Paratroopa has the advantage in hearts, whereas A Double knows where 3 different dungeons are located. And the dungeon we just saw where he got that hint about the red candle being an 8, I'm fairly certain that was level 5. Paratroopa now making his way back through the Lost Hills to give a second go at the screen above the waterfall. Of course, this is normally where you would find the white sword in vanilla Zelda. And normally it would be guarded by 1 blue Lionel. Instead, we get 4 blue Moblins guarding the path here. Paratroopa opting to kill all of them here in an attempt to get explosive devices. And ends up finding a dungeon, looking as if he's going to be potentially key blocked out of it because he has no keys right now and there is no way for him to go to the left. And when I say go to the left, I mean utilize the trick where you exit a dungeon, go to the screen it's on, and then exit and re-enter from the side. So if you want to enter the left-hand side of the dungeon through a key, you leave the left side of the screen and come back, then go in the dungeon. The game thinks you were in the dungeon the whole time, so it unlocks the door for you. Same thing can be done with bombs for volatile walls.
So still no bomb luck on Paratroopa side, but we will start seeing him burn what is deemed Candle Row. It usually includes the 2 right by start, which grants Paratroopa a level, and then everything's just south of 1.
And there's the trick I was just mentioning, Paratroopa going off to the right-hand side of that screen to unlock this door so we can progress through the dungeon. Now, I'm going to take a gander here. This is probably level 8, and whatever dungeon is, it looks as if we are going to be ladder blocked out of it. If it's 1, then it's 1, but it's either going to be 1 or 8. I'm guessing 8, though, because when he exited and re-entered, we didn't have a door open up in that first screen.
Yeah, it definitely is 8, just because there's 4 rooms on the bottom. 8's the only dungeon with that that feature in it.
A double has gone back into what we believe is level 3 here. Knowing where it is and knowing that it was this relatively simple enemy set here, the Gorilla set, is actually a really good call because we know there's going to be an item in 3, and there's only 18 rooms to explore.
Paratrooper deciding, since he has bombs, just to check the 2 bombable spots right by start before continuing his burning, and finds another candle shop and more meat.
Now you see AA here killing everything in the NSU room. Reason being is because of the 6 NSU rooms that are in the game, 3 of them have a clear drop, which means you kill all the enemies and get a drop in the room. 1 of them will have it sitting out, and 2, like the one he just found, unfortunately, have no drops in them. Finding the Triforce there in that empty room, and he's going to continue throughout the dungeon here, and that again is simply because he is looking for an item, although he is going to be desperately seeking a key here, hoping that this 6-block room is one of the ones that actually is going to drop something for him. It does drop something, but not what he was looking to get. Getting a heart container as opposed to the key he was looking for. Now he is going to have to continue on to the right. What that heart container does do for him, though, is it makes it so that when he comes across the White Sword Cave, which we know is another heart container, he is guaranteed to get it.
And also, because this seems to be 3, he did try bombing left on that wall and nothing opened. So we do know the item in 3 is still going to be in a corridor stairway. Does get his key as well, so he will be able to progress to the left and make his way over there.
And keys will no longer be an issue because he's rewarded getting 1 key, which leads him to the magical key. That's a huge find, especially early.
Especially with these seeds as well. These dungeons have just so many key blocks early on. Having that any key is going to make his progress to the dungeons a lot quicker.
Yeah, and the other good thing about that is if he happens to see key drops just lying around in rooms, he can just completely ignore them and move on to his next room in the dungeon. The raft there in the middle level 4 spot is going to lead to a huge secret for A double there, 119 rupees. So he can now purchase, aside from a blue ring, and pretty much purchase whatever he thinks he might need, either whether it be bait, whether it be arrows, who knows. While AA continues to make his way through Candle Row, you see Paratroopa here attempting to screen scroll. Now, where this screen scroll is going to take him is going to take him back to the Armos statues above level 3, where you would normally get the blue ring in the vanilla game. Paratroopa opting to buy the first of the 3 hints we see here, the 17 rupee hint, going to be one of the community hints. Let's see if we get lucky on the 39 rupee hint, and unfortunately not getting lucky on that one either. So let's see if this third and final hint can give us any more information on Paratroopa, and it's going to be no. So all 3 of the hints, truly, but thankfully Paratroopa opted to save before he went and got them, so he wasn't actually affected with any rupee loss, just some time loss. Now, what I mean when I say community hints, of course, there is that in the game, there are a bunch of old men and hint shops that you can go to. In all of the shops, what you're going to see, are you going to see mostly community hints, because it wouldn't make any sense to see the same buy something, will ya, in all the shops. So all of those are going to be little community hints, fun things that we have come up with through the community, just to have a little bit of fun. Now, in the with the hint shops that you see Paratroopa in right now, and the dungeon old man, there's a 50% chance of having a community hint, and a 50% chance of having a helpful hint. Unfortunately, all 6 hints that Paratroopa has purchased from the hint shops have been community hints. Now, if they were happen to be helpful hints, they could have given some information such as what items were in what dungeons, or a location that where you could find a dungeon. Like, for example, Gleok returns by a lake would tell us that level 8 is near a lake, or no feat of strength will save the princess tells us that the power bracelet is not required, nor is anything of relevance underneath the gravestone.
Seeing old news on Ampharos' site about the old man at the river. We already know that the magic sword is there, so no real help for him.
Yep, and one thing of note while we continue this exploration of Hyrule's overworld, when you get the hints, there are 2 hints from the old man. One will tell you where the magic sword is, the other tells you where the white sword is. Now, the difference between the 2 is the magic sword hint will just simply tell you, meet the old man wherever, in this case by a lake, or by a river, or whatever you want, whichever one it is. However, the white sword hint will tell us that an old man has blank by something. So in this case, it would be a heart container. So it would be the old man has a heart container wherever.
Now, the runners have actually explored quite a bit of the overworld, and it's looking more and more likely that there might be the potential need for power bracelet. And remember, the power bracelet is the ladder item, so they may have to start digging in some of these dungeons looking for that ladder.
Right. The other thing, of course, to mention is that neither one of them has done a good, thorough search of Death Mountain yet. I mean, that's not something you're going to want to do without bombs anyway, but there's also the potential of having a couple of dungeons be hiding up there. That is really bad there for Paratroopa. Getting the bomb cave opened in Death Mountain, but unfortunately getting sniped before having a chance to enter it and see what his the fruits of his labor were. All right, Gibbs, the reason nobody has the white sword is because these are the Elite 8 flags. The white sword item is shuffle. So while we found the white sword cave, it was actually a heart container. Speaking of heart containers, A double is now at 9.
Getting very close to being able to check on the magic sword, anywhere from 10 to 14 hearts. We have Paratroopa continuing to farm for bombs, which in this seed is just so tedious because of the HP that the Blue Gorillas have.
And there's really nothing around here like a Blue Octorok or something that's got a decent amount of HP to farm off of. But the cave he was going to go into before he got sniped initially turns out to be the letter. And letter can always be useful because it's going to give us access to the potion shops. And potion can be a very, very crucial item when it comes to exploring level 9. Speaking of crucial items for exploring level 9, we now have 10 hearts over on A double side, which gives us a 20% chance of finding if we can pick up the magical sword.
Still a barren wasteland for finding levels right now for both competitors. I would not be surprised if Ampharos soon started returning to some of these dungeons that he was key blocked in. Now, obviously, something like level 8, we know the ladder won't be there because there was that ladder blocked.
And we also know one of the items there is the red candle because we got that hint in the dungeon, which we believe to be 5. Again, for those of you who this may be your first time watching one of these Elite 8 flag matchups, in addition to everything you've seen throughout the randomizer for the early rounds, there are 4 new flags that are implemented here. The first of which you will see next time somebody up A's on the overworld, like you see AmazingAmpharos doing right now, and that is the start screen is shuffled. The second of those flags, now the white sword, is now integrated into the items that can be randomly found in all the dungeons and on the coast. The third of these is going to be dungeon room shuffles, which means all of the rooms from all the dungeons are now available to be in any of the dungeons. The layout is the same, the rooms have changed. The fourth and final one, and probably the most annoying factor of these, is enemy HP shuffle. And that is just the regular enemy HP, not the boss HP, but any of the enemies you see in dungeons and overworlds that do not have the boss flag can have their HP shuffled anywhere to a plus or minus 4 hit points. And speaking of hit points, Paratroopa was wishing he was plus 1 more hit point there, so he could continue on exploring instead of getting sniped and having to restart back at level 6 to start screen.
Paratroopa deciding finally to end his stubbornness and go explore elsewhere instead of continuing to try to farm for bombs up in Death Mountain.
I think what he's doing here is he's guinea farming for rupees to try and afford a blue ring. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, guineas, which are the ghost enemies there, they don't drop bombs.
No, guineas are in the what is considered the rupee class, so you can actually farm quite a bit of money off of them. Just using the trick of taking the main guinea down to a single HP, unleashing a lot from the graves, and then dealing that last hit point, which he acts as a master enemy, and all the others disappear, and a lot give drops.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I think one of my favorite videos involves a bunch of guineas and manipulating a fairy drop, and Fairy-geddon happens when you kill the master. A double here, finding the bad news that he is ladder blocked out of level 8. So now we're going to up A, save, and continue our exploration through Hyrule. It's getting to the point now for A double here that he's going to have to go up into Death Mountain or go explore the level 5 that he found earlier to see if he can get an item out of that that's going to help him progress.
And it looks like Paratroopa is going to finally make his trek back into 3. Now we know that this will hold the all-important any key for this seed. Let's hope he is able to find a key to get over that way before he decides to abandon the level.
A double there, finding the letter, which again, as we mentioned, is going to give him access to potions when he wants it. And with 235 rupees, he also has the, I forget what the exact price of the blue ring was here in this seed. I want to say it was like 241, but he's awfully close to being able to afford a blue ring, which is going to increase his protection. And given the nature of enemies in this seed, that have most of them having above average HP, having more defense is going to be huge. Oh, no, it's 250. I lie. We found the shop right there. Thanks, A-Double. Almost like you knew what I was looking for. Paratroopa now had the Triforce spawn basically on top of him there in level 3. So we are going to be heading back in to get the item out of here, which again we know is the any key.
Now the unfortunate thing for Paratroopa is he doesn't have bombs right now. So he is not able to bomb left here and discover that is indeed the item room. So he may end up blowing a key going the wrong direction and may end up having to hunt a little bit longer.
Or that last Korea in the room can just drop bombs for him and he can not bomb there anyway. But we did get the bombs at least. And there you can see we have found where the Captain Grumbles has been shuffled here. And that is going to be into level 3 with a Stalfos. Because the way the sprite swap option works here is normally Captain Grumbles is in level 7 as a Korea. But when you get swapped to different dungeons, it's going to be swapped to one of the enemy sprites of the enemy set in that dungeon. In this case, it was a Stalfos. And now, of course, when it comes to what Paratroopa is going to do here, we have 3 doors to choose from. It's all going to be a matter of which door does he choose. Now, we know left is the correct answer. He knows that right is going to bring him to the bait. It's a matter of does he go up or does he go left? And does make the correct choice to go left here.
Which normally, regardless of what knowledge we have or not, would be the correct call because there are more potential rooms to clear out going left instead of up. Does get a bomb drop that he finally does not need and is rewarded with the any key, so he can up A afterwards and head out of 3 and start searching elsewhere for more dungeons.
Yeah, now we are getting to the point where they got to be stressing a little bit because, you know, we've seen what, level 3, level 6, level 5, and level 8. There's still 4 levels out there missing. And if my math is correct, we've already seen the reporter spot and both raft spots. But there are 4 power bracelet spots, right?
Correct, there are. And as odd as it may seem, we already have had a seed this tournament where 3 levels were under power bracelet locations.
And wasn't the 4th one underneath the grave?
It was. And we do find level 9 on Ampharos' side, just north of the screen that Paratroopa is currently on.
Remember you were talking about bottlenecks earlier there from that screen on level 6? Well, Ampharos has a bottleneck here because there's a bunch of blue Lionels in only one path to go.
We do have another level on Paratroopa's side. If these Lionels force Ampharos to go south and go around, he will find the same level.
I believe Ampharos found this one already. I believe this is 6. Yeah, because he's found the Stalfos. Yeah, we're going to find the raft in here.
Oh, okay, yes. Then that would make sense why he is continuing to bide his time with these Lionels.
Well, those Lionels right now are treating poor A-Double like an internet troll.
Paratroopa does pick up the heart container in 6, so he is now up to 10 and can make a potential play at the magic sword. He will continue to explore though, because he knows there's a good potential item here.
And we have got another dungeon.
And this one looks to be level 4.
And we do find a double block room here. Now, the double block room, there are a total of 11 of these in the game, and we happen to find one with a staircase, and oh, that's a huge find.
Absolutely. Good find having the white sword not in 9. Otherwise, you're going to either be entering 9 with a wood sword or hoping that magic sword is decent to you with the amount of hearts it needs.
Again, white sword, big find here because of the nature of the enemy HP in the seed. However, considering how far along we are into the game and what we still need to find, definitely not the item A double was looking to find there.
No, we know that the most critical item to either runner right now is the ladder, because that is what holds probably a lot of the key to progression in this seed.
Yeah, absolutely. And considering we still have 3 dungeons left to find, levels 1, 2, and 7, it's getting to a point now where the probability of 1 or 2 of them being under power bracelet spots is gigantic.
Absolutely, and also the fact that the ladder is blocking off 8 right now. So between 1 and 8, we have 4 potentially huge items being blocked off right now that they want to get access to as quick as possible.
And of course, we know that the power bracelet is also ladder blocked because it's the coast item. And that is a strong find of the compass there for A double, but unfortunately it tells him he's going to have to go the long way because the Triforce is up in the very top part of the snake here in level 4.
And is going to have to go back around the way he just was, because he meets the T room, which is impossible to ladder clip right now if he'd be able to, because there is no ladder. So he'll be going through the rest, and luckily has the N key now, so he doesn't have to worry about any potential key blocks.
Bombing up there and getting a nice refill on bombs from the Gliok room. And that is going to be the second Triforce for A double here. He's got to be wondering what's going on here when he's almost 40 minutes in and still missing 3 levels and only has 2 Triforces.
Yeah, same has to be going through Paris' head, because he only has 1 Triforce right now. Doesn't know the location of quite a few dungeons, so he has to be just wondering like what's going on in the seed.
What's going on is A double's finding another level right next to where he was, and Paratroopa did up A there before he got the hint, but the hint he was going to get there is on Death Mountain, that we saw, so that could potentially be saying on Death Mountain is an entrance to Death, which is telling us where level 9 is located. Speaking of levels, though, because we have 3 rooms on the bottom here and 1 in the center, we are in level 1 for A double, and unfortunately, it's a Wizrobe dungeon. And oh, that's a horrible item to see on the floor there.
Absolutely.
Oh, he picked it up!
Probably choosing to pick it up just as an extra weapon in case of a few possible enemies, or he may have done it accidentally as well. Keeping with the theme of this match, the orange Wizrobes do have more than their normal HP, taking 3 hits from the white sword, so that means they either have 5 or 6 HP. and gets the hint that Dodongo dwells by a lake.
There's can't be too many more lakes that we got left to search.
Did we have the runners check northwest of 1 in the Forgotten Cave?
I don't believe we have checked the Forgotten Cave yet. Okay, Curbs, the boomerang, it's a running joke throughout the Zelda community, but the reason that the magical boomerang was proper name, that the joke came of the inferior model is twofold. One is a gigantic meme involving me overly worshipping the wooden boomerang, which has the image of Lord Banana. And the other part of it is, and a lot of runners will agree with this, is that because the magical boomerang travels the full length of the screen, it makes it hard to control. So that's really the disadvantage of the magical boomerang, is because it takes a long time to get from where you are where it's going. So that's the big thing.
Paratroopa realizing the white sword now, so he will have that a little bit extra firepower as well. Definitely good, considering he'll be finding the Wizrobe Dungeon 1 soon as well. Up base instead of...
the wand is the second item we found, and we're both going robot foot, so I think we need a little bit here is some oil. So if anyone has a little bit of oil to bring up to us so we can fix this problem, that'd be great. Again, though, finding the wand there, not the IA Donald was trying to get. He wanted to find the ladder. And interesting, you don't sit here in level 1. So we do have potential of being blowbucked out of the Triforce.
We'll try to keep at it. If we're still roboting, let us know. But Ampharos is out of one because he can actually pick up the Triforce. He's going to have to come back once he finds the bow, probably in one of the hidden levels or otherwise blocked levels. So definitely an interesting seed so far from what we have seen. Ampharos is going to go up and collect his blue ring, I believe.
Yeah, and that's absolutely the right call, considering how trolly the seed is. He's going to have to be really careful here, though. Sitting on half a heart with 2 blue Lionels camping the crap out of that shop.
So more interesting that to the fact that he bought the blue ring is he may end up needing 93 rupees for arrows to get the Triforce out of 1 as well.
Yep, and kudos to Paratroopa walking right by the inferior model and just leaving it there, so looking at it going, bye Felicia, and just continuing on his merry way.
Also important to note that both runners are at a 40% chance now of the magical sword, and given that they were able to come across the white sword in one of the caves and not in 9, I guarantee, or I shouldn't guarantee, but I have a high suspicion that magical sword isn't going to cost that many hearts.
And you were absolutely correct. The Forgotten Cave to the northwest of level 1 does in fact contain level 2, which is a Dark Nut set, and oh shoot!
Now, the shoot room is always one that runners will want to clear out, whether it's the horizontal or the vertical shoot room, just because there is always a guaranteed drop. Unfortunately, there it is just 5 rupees.
Speaking of drops, though, we have a heart drop here in this funky colored NSU room. Krim, you want to explain why the floor on that NSU room is, well, desert sand colored?
With the swapping of all the rooms in the dungeons, a room in 2 is guaranteed to have the palette of a desert floor, and if a desert doesn't make its way into 2, well, it's just going to replace something else on the ground, and typically it is a water room, so that's why the NSU room took that color palette.
And the Triforce in 2 is ladder blocked. Again, that can happen with these flags because of the dungeon room shuffle. So if the ladder isn't hiding somewhere in 2, then, oh boy, we got some fun on our hands.
Very friendly HP on these blue dark nuts, though. AA able to make use of the wand and sword trick, taking out 4 HP every time. And there is the ladder hidden by the rupee boss. So AA finds the important item for this seed and is going to be able to make a lot more progress.
And that is the advantage that one of the runners needed to pick up here. A double ending up finding it first. So now he can go and head back and continue on through level 8, which he knows he is ladder blocked out of, and go back and find anything else he may have missed.
And there is the 12 heart magical sword. So things just got immensely easier for AA to traverse his way through the rest of the seed.
Blue ring, magical sword, everything's coming up Ampharos.
And now he will be going back to 8, I believe, just to... Or...
All right, Elad, real quick, the blue ring is going to make it so you only take half damage, and then the red ring option is going to cut that damage in half again.
He's actually heading to level 5 first.
Interesting call to go to 5 before going to 8.
2 rooms smaller, so he may just have chose to take this path. Now, unfortunately, in one of the very first rooms, he runs into a Patra, which means that any boss that he will encounter in level 5 is going to be a Patra. Not the boss that you want to see in 5, 6, 7, or 8.
Right, because the way the boss flags are set up is there are 3 sets of bosses. Patra is one set. And there is, Aquamentus, Dodongo, and Manhandle are a set, right?
Digdogger.
Digdogger.
It's Aquamentus, Dodongo, and Digdogger, and then Goma, Gliok, and Manhandler are the 3rd.
Okay.
And
so basically, go ahead.
The Dark Nut set seems to be very, very friendly in the HP area. Gibdos are 4 or less HP, taking 1 shot to the magic sword. Bull's Voice only require 2 magic sword hits, and we already know the blue Dark Nuts are relatively easy as well.
Well, it's about time something in the seed decided to be, cooperative, and A double, they're getting a hint he already knew. Goma creeps with the raft.
Now, as a runner, the only solace that I would take in this seed is that 7 was not one of the early dungeons I had to clear out. So they may know by the time they find 7 what exploration is going to be needed. They may potentially find silver arrows and bow before they even hit 7.
Well, right now we have 3 items left to find in dungeons, and we've got 1 item in 5, 1 item in 7, 1 item in level 8, and one of those 3 has to be the bow.
Correct. We do know that the other item in 8 is the red candle, so that just leaves the 3 plus the 2 and 9 that remain.
Yep. And the 5 items that we have left here to find in this seed are Lord Banana, the red candle, the book, the silver arrows, and the red ring. And of course the bow.
Now we do have Paratroopa in level 2 right now, which he will be happy to find when he discovers the ladder in this next room. Picks up the Triforce, gives him 3 now, so he's back even with Triforces with Ampharos. So yeah, we may have a close race yet.
Now, of course, you see A-Double is looking to get the item here out of 5, getting the hint that Goma creeps on Death Mount. Again, not something he needs. And Paratroopa also going and getting the 11 heart magical sword.
And 5 has the book.
Ew! So now at this point, there is a 66% chance that the silver arrows are in level 9.
Does grab the Triforce and gets out of 5. He is up to 4 now. And we have Paratroopa back in level 8, taking on the 4-headed Gliok.
Opting to check that room to the right of the 4-headed Gliok is Paratroopa, just to make sure there was nothing important he needed to get out of there. And wait a second. Manhandla in the actual physical location on the map where Manhandla would usually be in level 8. I think it finally deserves a Fred, don't you?
We haven't gotten many others, so go ahead.
Fred! Paratroopa having a little bit of difficulty here with this clip into the diamond staircase room. So opts just to kill all the keys instead, and that way you can just push the button and get in and be rewarded with a staircase.
Normally in 8, this wouldn't be a bad thing to find because you could figure out what remaining 2 staircases you needed. But with these dungeon shuffles, there's a chance that all the staircases in 8 are actually just diamond staircases like we see. And interesting that on Ampharos' side, he now has enough hearts to get magical sword at any level, up to 14. So the hearts are probably the one thing in the seed that aren't trolly.
Well, there's always going to be one in every seed, so. And Paratroopa finding the item we already knew about here in level 8, he finds the red candle, so not the item we're looking for.
Get the map is never a bad grab in level 8 just because it's easy to lose your way in the region, so having some sort of reference where you are is always good.
Max Plus, yes, there is potential to see 16 hearts on a double side. He did take all heart containers from the bonus waves. And speaking of bonuses, we have finally found the bow hiding here in level 8 over on Paratroopa's side. So this now brings up something very, very interesting, because there are now 3 items left to find, 2 of which are in level 9. The other level to search through is level 7. So the runners have the option of gambling on silvers in 9 or attempting to explore 7.
Now, they also have to start considering a error at point in the near future because we all level 1 is bow block with the Triforce, and there's potential that 8 may be as well.
So yeah, that's always an interesting option. And we do know that arrows are going to have to be purchased here if they don't find silver arrows, because level 1's Triforce is Goma blocked. So it's all going to be a matter of whether or not the runners decide they want to explore 7 first, buy the arrows and go back and get them out of level and get the Triforce out of 1 before they try 7. People will be very disappointed to find the book here. Paratroopa here finding out that there ain't no party like a Patra party, because the Patra party don't stop here in level 5. And of course, as the wonderful chat is wont to do here, keeping us on point with everything that we need to know, AA is in fact out of bombs on his side of the screen, which could come back to haunt him here in level 8, depending on what he's going to find up in here. And yes, it is looking like bombs are going to be needed to get to these other 2 rooms here in the top of the Lion.
And there is the bad news for Para, that it was just the book. So he chooses not to want to read either. And with the good possibility of needing arrows, I don't think we'll see a bomb upgrade buy from either player as well.
No, especially not where it's 118 rupees. Although if I were AA at that point, if it was, if it was within my price range to buy it, I would have bought it at that point just to get the refill.
Absolutely. Does find the Triforce though,
yeah, Killing Man handle it, so that is good.
Paratroopa choosing to pick up the keys still, probably just for the gold that he can sell for rupees later on after his seed is done. But does find the compass and notices that the Triforce is back down near the start.
Genos, the best I can surmise to why Para left level 8 is he got locked in the Goma room and up aid and didn't want to go back with only the 3 hearts he had. It's the best I can surmise.
Do have the Triforce get in 5 for Paratroopa though, so that brings him up to 4. He still needs 1, 6, 7, and 8. Meanwhile, over on Ampharos' side, he did go and grab the power bracelet, so he's going to start checking the power bracelet slots to find this last level, level 7. And is going to make a purchase of arrows as well. Good decision on his part.
Very, very good decision. And the question was asked in chat about mixing up the dungeons. Now, yes, there is the option in the randomizer for both mixed quest overworld and mixed quest underworld. Underworld, of course, being the dungeons. Now, basically what that means is it's mixed quest overworld. Any of the screens that have caves on them could potentially have caves. The same in either what would be a first or a second quest location. So you might have to blow the whistle in the desert, for example, to find a location. With the mixed quest underworld, there's only really 2 sets, dungeons 1 through 6 and then dungeons 7 through 9. So if you find level 1 and it's the second quest level 1, you will be guaranteed to get that levels 1 through 6 are all going to be second quest dungeons. The same thing from 7 through 9. They all fit underneath that category.
So when what appears to be the next to last cave for Ampharos, he finds the last large secret under a power bracelet spot. So chooses to up A and grab some potion before he goes out on his quest again.
We have got Paratroopa here in what we now know as level 7 and finds another diamond staircase room. That's going to take him deeper into the depths of hell. And I say that simply because the shape of level 7 is a demon. And I do love that troll hint, shout into controller to defeat Pole's voice. That's actually a reference to the Famicom version of Legend of Zelda, or the Hyrule, the Hyrule Adventure, Hyrule Fantasy, which is the Japanese version, where the Pole's voice were weak to actually shouting into the microphone on the FDS controller.
And very interesting decision on the side of Paratroopa. He bought the bomb upgrade, so he will have to gain some rupees to go ahead and purchase arrows before he goes back into 1. He's gonna probably search around 7 from that decision to pick up just to see if silver arrows are here.
Yep, and the other thing about that bomb upgrade is that it was 18 more rupees than it usually is, but it only gave you the same amount of bombs, so price markup in Hyrule. A double, on the other hand, can certainly afford to purchase the bomb upgrade if he comes across it when he normally comes across it here in level 7. He's already purchased arrows and still has 186 rupees to his credit.
Indeed, and I believe with entering level 7, that is a full clear overworld for Ampharos.
I believe it is. Now, you see Paratroopa there completely avoiding that reverse C room, and the reason being is because there are 3 reverse C rooms in the game. 2 of them are staircases, 1 of them is not. The one that is on a staircase has a drop in it. So because there was a drop in that reverse C room, Para knows it's not a staircase. Oh, this is interesting. The item here in level 7 is up in the very top northwest corner, and it turns out it's Lord Banana. So now we know that the red ring and silver arrows are both in 9. Wait a minute. Fred! Oh, shoot. All right, but considering we are now at the 107 mark, and I haven't actually done this yet, and I now have a confirmed list of all of the items that are in every dungeon here, here is the list of items and where we found them in this seed. Level 1 contained the inferior model and the wand. Level 2 contained the ladder. Level 3 was the magical key. Level 4 was the white sword. Level 5 was the book. Level 6 had the raft. Level 7 has His Holiness Lord Banana. Level 8 was the red candle and the bow. The Armos item was the recorder. The ladder item is the power bracelet. The white sword item was the heart container, and the silver arrows and red ring are both in level 9.
As I just typed into chat, Ampharos is very healthy. Finds the heart in 7 as well, so he's up to 15 hearts now. With the blue ring, that's effectively 30 hearts. A lot you can do with that, especially with someone with his ability in combat.
Now you see a map pickup here. Both runners can pick up the map. Maps are going to be something that runners are going to tend to avoid in the earlier dungeons unless it sort of spawns right on top of them. But when it gets to later dungeons, specifically 7, 8, and 9, the 3 really, really large dungeons, runners are going to potentially pick up maps here and go out of their way to pick up maps just because it makes it easier to visualize where they are, especially with the 33 room level 7 and the 58 room level 9. Speaking of level 9, there's Zelda's room.
One up. He's not going to ignore red ring if he finds it, and he is going to be item searching because he needs silver arrows. Red ring, unless someone really believes, as we find the Triforce on Paratroopa1 side in the dark room, but unless a runner believes that the race is really, really tight, they'll take the extra few seconds to go down and pick it up.
Yeah, because that extra defense does have the potential to be, could make all the difference. Ampharos here in this room with the Gibdos, where he is going to find His Holiness Lord Banana, but because he is on the inferior model of team, he's not going to take it. Grrr! Now, this is interesting. We've got Paratroopa going back into level 1. I was under the impression level 1 was arrow blocked.
It was mentioned in chat that he may not be arrow blocked. There may actually be a water room that he can go in to get around it, but I guess we'll see in a minute.
AA now making his way to the point of the nose where he's going to have to be going, and it's looking like it might be a full clear, or a near full clear 7 for AA.
Although we are seeing from combat on Paratroopa side that what we originally thought were regular HP for the blue Wizrobes, they are actually 4 hits with the magic swords, so they're either 13 or 14 HP.
That's never good.
And it was actually the fact that Paratroopa did not fully explore one, that he did not know that the Triforce is going to be blocked by Goma.
Ah, that's what it is, or what it was. And there is a double there, getting the Triforce out of level 7. He now has the Triforces left in level 6 and level 1 to get.
And there's the realization, and he upays and has to exit. Now, he is still 36 rupees shy of being able to grab a arrow, and we know that the silver arrows are a 9 at this point.
As does he. So yeah, this is interesting though, because A Double did not clear out this room initially when he first came through 1, because it's 6 blue wizards, which is probably one of the hardest encounters in the game, and opting to clear it out there to hope the Triforce is going to be there and not have to go back up north and kill Goma. Although killing Goma is not nearly as hard as killing 6 blue wizards.
We do have Ampharos back in 1. He does have the arrow, so he will be able to make quick work of Goma to obtain the Triforce.
But he's also going to go back and check the rooms that he was ladder blocked out of as well.
Yeah, he is just making sure that that it isn't up in this area. However, he'll grab the compass and learn that, you know, grabbing the arrows was a very, very good decision on his part.
I also do want to point out we have at least 5 hit point buyers. And you can tell that because the magical sword, which deals 4 hit points worth of damage, doesn't kill them. It then instead splits them into their 2 red keys form.
One remaining Triforce for Ampharos before he can head on into what we can only imagine is going to be quite the trolley level 9 as well. I know that the runners are hoping otherwise, but he'll be heading, I think, back towards 6 is his only Triforce that he still has.
Yep, 6 is the only Triforce left, and here's what level 9 is going to be. You're going to walk in. You're only going to be able to go left. First room is going to be it's going to be an item room. It's going to have the red ring. You're going to go up from there. That's going to have the silver arrows. You're going to hear Ganon from that room, and Zelda's going to be behind Ganon. Easy peasy. No, Paratroopa there hadn't checked any of the RAF spots yet, so he's opting to check them because he knew there were still some secrets left, and gets rewarded by getting that 3rd big secret and the vanilla level 4 spot. So now he can afford to purchase the arrows that he needs to get through level 1, and in his mind, level 8.
Ampharos getting that lovely message of what he already knows about level 9 being on Death Mountain. So he'll continue just searching for the Triforce.
And it is interesting to note that the hint for where Death Mountain, or the entrance to Death, is guarded, as it were, by Ganon's room. The one good thing about this enemy set here in level 6 for A Double is the fact that it's the Guerrilla set, which is fairly easy. You're going to have 1 stab ropes, 1 stab Stalfos, 1 stab keys. So it's not going to be hugely difficult traversing this.
What we do learn Triforce is, of course, on the far right. Since we already have the item, we know this is going to be one of the staircases. Hopefully leads him to a little bit closer area. Which it does.
That's a
Just 2
gigantic
rooms,
staircase.
and we'll be heading to 9.
And then the hunt is on. Because now we have 3 things playing hide and seek with us here in level 9. We're going to have, of course, the reigning hide and seek champion, in this case Link, not Zelda, because A-Double's playing as a Zelda sprite, Ganon, and now the silver arrows.
We do have Paratroopa back in level 6, going to choose to traverse his way over towards the Triforce now before heading back to 1 that he can complete with arrows, and also has to still complete 8.
Well, that is an interesting hint that we just saw Ampharos get out of level 9. Wizrobes guard the compass. So now he knows anytime he sees a Wizrobe room, if it's a room that can potentially have a drop, he may want to kill them so he can get the compass so he knows where to find Link. Because again, as the Zelda sprite, he's searching for Link.
And in Dungeon Room Shuffle, you're going to want to do a lot more exploring, a lot more killing of Wizrobes, just because you don't know how many rooms are going to have drops.
He does know that this room has a drop, however, because it's sitting out in the corner. Now, the reason you see A-Double killing all these Wizrobes here is because no block clipping. A-Double has been, I've seen him block clip before, but it's not something he does on a frequent basis. So it's just faster for the most part to kill the Wizrobes. And of course, Wizrobes in general tend to sort of mob you around the staircase. So it's easier just to kill them all anyway, especially when you have difficulty block clipping.
Now, Ampharos is using a technique that's often used when runners find silver arrows in 9. He is going to take the staircases he comes across, because what it ultimately does is it eliminates 2 of the 14 staircases in the dungeon at one time. Other times you'll see runners who choose just to run a linear path with any open doors, but strategies change when silver arrows are in 8 are in 9. And we do have Paratroopa getting ready to fire his arrow at Goma to grab the Triforce from 1. So he just has to go back to 8, grab that Triforce, and then he will be in 9, and we may have a race again.
So depending on whether or not we can bomb out of here, that may have been a troll staircase we just found. But nope, we can thankfully bomb out and continue on our exploration. And that's interesting, keeping the inferior model equipped on his B button slot. Is there any particular reason you could think of for doing that?
Probably just forgot to change it to something else, would be my guess.
And thankfully, getting trapped there by a bunch of enemies, and the enemy that hits him is the bubble. So he actually gets saved from death there by the bubble. Walks into this room full of pancakes and blue Wizrobes and immediately says, "Nope, I need a drink."
Now, there's 2 potential benefits to clearing out this room. 1, the possible item drop, but second is if that shutter door wouldn't have opened, he would have known the location of Link, which is always a good thing to know. That way, he could just be on the search for the silver arrows and Ganon afterwards.
One thing we do have going for us here, and by we I mean A double and Paratroopa, is that the pancakes are only taking 2 stabs with a magical sword, so that means they are slightly under-hearted than they normally would be. And good thing for Paratroopa, he is locked in this room with this manhandle, so he's going to have to kill it, and he's rewarded with a shiny piece of triangle.
Now, on the side of Ampharos, he was in that double block room, and when he killed all the enemies, there was no drop. Now, normally in a 9 where the dungeon rooms aren't shuffled, if there's no drop, it guarantees it's a staircase. However, there are 4 rooms like that in the entirety of First Quest that do not have drops, so one of those happened to come in here, so there was no drop and no staircase.
Yes, again, we are searching for these silver arrows here in level 9. And we have both runners now currently in level 9, so let's see where this is going to take us. Looks like we might have one of those infamous troll staircases. Not quite. But we do have the high 5 as Paratroopa had bombed up and went down the staircase that A double had just entered, and now we have both of them going to be going back into the spiral staircase room.
Now, something else interesting to note, that high 5 room that TG was just talking about, the one south of that staircase that they both just came from, you could hear Ganon from that room. So we know Ganon is 2 left from the Old Man Triforce room.
I did say when I called this that Ganon would be, 2 or 3 rooms away from that, so I'm taking at least partial credit here.
Another staircase found by both players, so they'll both take that, and it leads to the western side of level 9, where a lot of exploration hasn't been done yet.
The one good thing about level 9 here is you can see level 9 is still written across the overlay on the top of the screen there. So we can sort of orient our positions based off of the column, because there's the L column, the E column, the V column, etc., etc.
Interesting decision for neither player to clear out that room of blue wizards. Now, it is difficult to, it's not a horrible decision not to, but there is the possibility that that may have contained the compass.
This dual pathing is simply phenomenal. They're both on the exact same path right now.
And both selecting to skip the Gliok room with Wizrobes in too. So both know that Wizrobes guard the compass, but neither seem too concerned about finding it right now.
A double's going to have to be very careful because he's still sitting on half a heart, and he already used one of his potions.
And the blue Kool-Aid is now being drank on A side, and on Paratroopa side, we find that one room in the middle up there was nothing as well.
Yeah, and even though the square river room there does have a drop, it's not going to be anything that either runner is concerned about because they both got the hint about Wizrobes and the compass. So they have no need to kill that room for anything because there was no shutter doors.
And I think that's the 5th exhausted staircase on the side of Ampharos. So he's getting very, very close to going through all the possible staircases.
He's also found the entrance to Ganon, as has Paratroopa. Well, this reverse C room, we know it's going to have a staircase in it, so please be the silver arrow so they can just go right into Ganon. Please, please, please.
And it is the red ring. So both players are going to up their defense by another 200%, but not the item they were looking for.
But the double block room right above might be the item they're looking for. And didn't I also say that we get red ring first and right above it would be the silver arrows? Come on, baby, make me right! Unfortunately, I am not correct, as both runners are getting the bad news that this is, again, not a staircase.
Now, one other interesting thing to take note of is we know the room that Ganon's in. The room below him is inaccessible by bombing, so there is a possibility that Ganon might be sitting right on top of Zelda's room.
Another thing to keep an eye on is the bomb totals. And oh, speaking of things to keep an eye on, we found the silver! Paratroopa has found the silver arrows.
He has his potion ready, and he is going to make a beeline for Ganon after he takes out the Wiz ropes.
Getting the trolley hint there is AA, the beast awaits in southeast of Skull. Well, yeah, we know that. We found him. We also know that AA is getting dangerously close to finding the silver arrows because it's over in the E column that he needs to go to, and he's basically getting right there.
And there he is.
Bingo bango. So we still got a race, boys!
Para is now in his combat with the Great Pig. Only needs 4 hits to take Ganon out, along with the Silver Arrow. And of course, it would be in a square river room. Takes 1 Hyrule Driver and makes quick work of the pig. So, the fact that you have to bomb south out of Ganondorf guarantees that Zelda is not down there. So we will continue the search for the magic shutter door.
And the other thing we know is we've taken most of the staircases here. So it might not be a magic staircase situation in the true sense of staircase leads you to exactly where you need to go. It might be a magic staircase in the situation of let's take it and go like 4 or 5 rooms out of our way to get there.
The room to the south there, paying no dividends for Paratroopa.
Now this is interesting because Ampharos didn't realize all he had to do was go south from where he was, and he would have been able to get right back to Ganon.
He took the staircase that got him there quicker.
No, it wouldn't have gotten him there quicker. Once the silver arrows, he just had to go south, and he would have got right to Ganon. He went the long way.
So, I mean, Ampharos has to start worrying about his HP as well, because Ganon has taken quite a bit of it away.
Yeah, now we see both of our runners here in the Square River rooms here, of course. AA fighting Ganon, and we have Paratroopa fighting Blue Wizrobes. Considering they're both in the same room, Paratroopa actually has the harder fight there. Blue Wizrobes infinitely harder than King Pig. There's very few spots that AA hasn't explored yet here. So even though Para got an advantage on searching for Zelda with the Triforce piece, A Double has the advantage of, hey, I've been around the block a few times here.
Absolutely, and the area that Para is currently exploring, Ampharos has already done quite a bit of exploration over on the east side, so he's figuring that Zelda must be somewhere on the west.
Yeah, again, at this point, we are just looking for that single shutter door that's going to open. Again, it's going to have to be a single shutter door room like that one!
And he makes it through the Wizrobes. Ampharos is going to win.
Oh, the clinch was real!
Ampharos with the official time of 1:32:37.
Wow. Half a heart. Almost gets sniped by a beam as he's going through the door. Wow.
And almost immediately after, we have a forfeit from Paratroopa being out of bombs.
Well, considering how trolly the rest of that seed was, no one's going to complain about that. That was a very hard-fought seed with basically the troll level ratcheted up to about 13. And we have now got AmazingAmpharos with us here in the chat. So first things first, congratulations.
Thank you. Wow, I asked for a troll seed. The game delivered.
Yeah. So you hear that? You can actually blame Ampharos for this one and not me. I'm off the hook this time.
That seed was just... It was a real... I really enjoyed the seed, except I was just terrified because I found almost all the good stuff as late as possible.
So, again, I guess the first thing I'll ask for both of you is the level of troll in the seed where you had basically not to almost 40 minutes in, you both didn't find the ladder until you find it in level 2. So going through the seed, knowing you need to get the ladder to get through level 8 to potentially get the Triforce in level 1. What are you guys thinking about that? We'll start with you, Ampharos.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, I'm over a half an hour in. I've almost world, and I have, like, what, one Triforce in the item out of a second dungeon? Like, that's really bad. And then I forgot I hadn't checked the level 5 area, so I concluded Power Bracelet was required, which wasn't true. And I was like, oh, that's cool. 2 of the 3 big secrets and level 7 are under a rock. Not true at all.
Same question about the ladder for you, Para.
I wasn't even thinking about the ladder, dude. Like, I had so much stuff to find that it didn't even matter. That seed was born out of the cauldron of my nightmares. That was like, I was at Kick to the Groin Fest 2016, and my crotch was the headline act. Like, God freaking. Oh.
How'd you like those blue Lidls who were guarding the white sword?
Sure. Well, yeah. I don't even know where it was anymore. That was all blur. I don't know.
I just saw where level 1 and 4 were, and White Sword was free at level 4, but getting to level 4 sure wasn't free.
I think I probably could have gotten Magic Sword by that time anyway. Ladder. Yeah, finding it. Did you go to that spot earlier? Because I sure didn't.
That was, other than the level 5 area, I forgot, and Power Bracelet Rocks, which obviously needed ladder, that was my last spot in Overworld.
Okay, so pretty much mine too. So I guess we were on the same foot on that front. Yeah.
I found every item. I had 15 heart containers when I finished.
I only had 13. I found all the overworld hearts like in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, I had 9 hearts with 1 Triforce, and I was like, well, I'm getting magic this run.
I had 9 hearts with 0 Triforces, I'm pretty sure. I think I had 8 Triforces that were a single dungeon discovered.
Yeah, I found level 3 pretty early, and that was Magic Key. That was a gift. The only gift this seed gave. The only point of mercy.
Well, to be fair, the Darknut set was fairly easy to maneuver around too with HP.
I didn't see them until like an hour in, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, that's pretty true. The set of enemies you'd only find once you had everything you needed to actually do anything was easy.
Yeah, basically. I should have gone back to 3 earlier. I was like way on tilt. I had no bombs, and the moblins had like 1,000,000 HP, so I didn't have bombs. Now I'm trying to get into Death Mountain because I know there's like 4 dungeons here, and it turns out there were exactly 4 dungeons, and I couldn't get bombs. They're just like so I just like. Then I'm like, oh, I didn't go back to 3. There were like a bunch of key doors, but like there's probably key drops or something in there, and there were, so it worked, and Magic Key was there, so that was really good. But that was the only thing that went right.
Yeah, like it was just. The only good luck I really did have was the moblins were relatively kind to me with bomb drops.
Oh, they were not kind to me at all. They were.
I don't know if you tested them early. I did, and it helped me out. Blue Lionels were only 3 hits.
I actually did like try to fight them a couple of times, but it was like I had green tunic.
So where were you at the end of the game? You were asking where is she? Did you have
Zelda.
Ganon down?
Yeah, I had Ganon down. I actually only had about 15 more rooms to explore, I think, or something.
How
like that.
much? Yeah, you didn't need bombs to reach Zelda once if you had silvers.
Really? Well, crap. Yeah, that means I went the wrong way.
Yeah, like before I'd nearly full cleared 9 when I found silvers.
Oh, I found them earlier than that.
Yeah, and when I found an item room right above Ganon after I think I'd found every staircase and it was red ring, I've never been so mad to see a red ring in my life.
You actually you guys found that at literally the same time.
Wow. I mean, that was a fine find. Did you have green or blue at the time?
Blue.
Okay, I got blue late because I just didn't have the rupees.
Yeah, I found the one big secret on the Raft Island. I actually had Raft super early, so I checked the Raft Islands ASAP, hoping it'd be something good.
I did that not ASAP, but I did eventually. So where was Zelda? Was she in the southwest or the northeast?
The southwest.
Dang.
Because that path, I only found a way to the Silver Arrows from the west. It was a really convoluted route.
Oh, I did it from the south. I went down those stairs on the west side, and then they came up to the north, the south middle, and then I went north.
Yeah, I went through the hint for where Ganon was. That wasn't a very useful hint.
Find that.
And yeah, going north led quickly to Silvers. Going south led straight to Zelda.
I didn't see a route to the southwest, and I was like, maybe Zelda's there, but I couldn't figure out a way to get down there, so I went to the northeast instead, and that's where I ended up running out of bombs.
I don't know. If you came from that direction, maybe you did need bombs, because you would just go west from the Silver Arrow room, then straight south, and it'd lead to Zelda.
Oh, that's brutal. Man. Well, I'm glad it came down to that at least. I was worried that you were gonna finish 9 before I was even done, like with the Triforces. So I'm glad that I at least acquitted myself on that front. Yeah,
like I thought, because the other thing that killed me, even though I had that money early, I kept hitting a door repair right before I had enough money for blue ring. So I hovered at 200-something rupees for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, same thing happened to me.
So I was like, if Paratroopa bought blue ring early and found 2 early, then this seed would have cracked wide open for him.
Sort of.
And I dug in 7 for an item I didn't. Well, I found 7's Triforce late.
I just kind of looked around and found it. And of course it was that thing.
Oh, that thing? Oh, you gotta call it that thing? Wow.
Yeah,
I would have picked it up at any other time, but I was too salty at the time.
Yeah, I didn't know TGE was doing commentary.
I did.
I picked up blue boomerang and ignored the wood boomerang, so that was pretty good.
Oh, I left the
Oh
blue
yeah,
one, too. I just
I commented on both of that. I was formally on Team Para once I saw somebody pick up the inferior model.
I mean, at the time I found level 1 with the wood boomerang, I really don't want this. It clogs up my select swap. Then I'm like, I have almost nothing useful, and if I have to go through those Lionels again, this will help me. Because that whole time I was getting through that Lionel screen, I was just thinking, what would really help here? A boomerang.
Yeah, actually, that's true. But that wand was there anyway, so it really didn't matter that much.
Yeah, and then I found the wand, and I'm like, great. I just clogged my select swap for the rest of the game for no reason.
Yep. Sorry, you guys have any other questions? I just started talking.
No, hey, it's honestly, all the discussions you guys had covered most of the questions that I was going to ask anyway. I just had to bring up Lord Banana and the inferior model because it's me.
Yeah.
You know what really did help me out though? I just assumed after I left 1 with the items but not the Triforce that wood arrow was probably required. I'm really thankful I went out of my way to buy that.
I didn't buy it until I knew. I had to find the compass in 1, and then I got it.
Yeah, because when I found 1, I didn't have the ladder, so I couldn't see those 2 rooms in the northwest. I didn't kill 2 blue Wizrobe rooms because I was on wood sword tunic.
I came back with magic.
Well, I had white sword, I guess, but blue Wizrobes had 1,000,000 HP, so...
Yeah, they had 14, I think.
They had at least 13.
At least 13, yeah.
Yeah, they were 4 hits with mags, so those are never fun.
No, they were not.
Oh no, those were great. I said I want 14 HP blue Wizrobes because I thought it'd give me an advantage. I
Got
hope
your
it
wish. Did you buy the hints?
I didn't buy a single hint.
Good. 6 community.
Yeah, I did find a helpful hint. Red candle in 8. It saved me from exploring some rooms in 8.
That
By
didn't save
exploring
me
rooms in
enough.
8, I mean checking a staircase I walked by.
I found red candle first, so it didn't help me at all. Because the bow was the other one, so I needed to find it.
Yeah, when I did 8, I still hadn't done 7, and I was like, well, bow's either in here or in 7.
Thankfully, Bo was an 8 because having to delve through 7 to find a required item is never fun.
The way 7 was built, you practically had to full clear it just to beat it.
Yeah, 7 was...
7, I think, about matched the quality of the rest of the seed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, pretty rough.
That was a horror show. I didn't play very well either. I'll have to go back at it and nitpick all my flaws and get ready for the next one.
I mean, when you watch what I did in this race, it's not gonna be just you if horrible things happen. The seed was horrible.
Yeah.
I knew we were on a special seed when I found level 5 and saw the only way in was through that Patra in that NSU room. I was like, right then and there, I'm like, I bet this is going to be horrible to get through here. It's only going to not have something good if I end up digging hard in it, and then it'll be the book. And then it was the book.
And it was the book. Sure was. Oh boy. Cool. Well, GG, good luck with Adaginos. That'll be a good match.
Yeah, Adaginos would have finished the seed in like 20 minutes faster than me, so...
Oh, probably. But, hey, got it out of the way. Next one can't be this bad, right?
There could have been a bait block. Where was he? I never ran into him.
He was in 3. He wasn't even blocking anything. He was just he was on the top row anyway, so... Not the top row, but I mean, he had nothing. He had no room above him, so it was just like, well, okay.
Oh yeah, 3 was a rare case of a dungeon. I didn't see much of it.
I still saw most of it.
Yeah, because I tried bombing left in that one room. I saw I didn't bomb. I knew it had to be the staircase because Zelda's room can't be in that bottom row.
Right. Yeah, I didn't have bombs, so I didn't. Yeah. But it was okay, I guess.
All right. Do not mean to cut this interview off short, though it's gone.
Oh, please
for a
do.
bit. But I do want to say thank you guys for both in a wonderful race. Paratroopa, you have a little bit of time off because you got to wait for a bunch of bonus bracket matches to take care of.
Yeah.
And Ampharos, you get to wait until after SGDQ, more than likely. So again, congratulations to both on going through what was probably one of the more trollier seeds we've seen here in the tournament.
Yep. Thanks.